Your first food memory, which is Christmas dinner at Grandma's house.
Yes.
She made this incredible soup, crepes, called Scrippelle.
When we were younger, we also just called them the Italian crepe soup. But, we were young, we were kids. They were, oh my God, this is one thing that I always looked forward to, especially around Christmas and whatnot, because they would make these very thin crepes and then they would roll them up. And of course, there was always like grated cheese and that in them. And they were never put in the soup until later when we were ready to be served. So they had this big pile of these beautiful crepes, which are about 7 inches long, all rolled up. And they would have the soup bowls out and then they would lay like however many, you wanted. And then the broth, the chicken broth would go on top, which was again, all homemade. And they would just pour that on. And of course the crepes would start soaking it up. And then the piece de resistance, we got to have more Parmesan cheese on top of everything. And it was just the texture of the crepe with the soup and the saltiness of the Parmesan. It was just a really beautiful combination.
And she made this at Christmas?
Oh my God, they all spent time. My mom did it, my grandmother did it, and it's a lot of work, especially if you're doing like a holiday where we have big families. My father is one of 5. I'm now one of 7. Like I'm the oldest of 7, but they were big families, and then we have cousins and everything else. So if you were doing this, you had to make a lot of crepes, and then people would come over. Your cousins and aunts would come over after the main dinner, and more food would come out, and more drinks, and so it was nonstop eating and drinking the entire time.
Let's move on to your second memory, which is another dinner.
Yes.
Dinner at a restaurant called Linen, where you were served
yes.
live baby eels in heirlooms Gazpacho. First of all, tell us about the restaurant, and then let's talk about the dish.
It was.
I tried to find this restaurant. I can't.
It's gone. It's gone. It closed up soon after we left Tucson, so it didn't hang around very long. Unfortunately, it was in Tucson, Arizona. We were in Tucson for about 14 months, right after 9/11, because we were in New York. That kind of changed things. But so we were at this restaurant. We of course we were dining a lot in New York. We have really beautiful restaurants. And so this new restaurant had pretty much opened up fairly recently called Linen, and it was a chef from New York. And we decided to go, and it was a small restaurant. It wasn't really big, like tablecloths, the whole thing. And I think we mentioned to the waiter that we were coming from New York, and we knew the chef was from New York, and start a little conversation that way, and that we're big foodies and whatnot, because we've eaten a lot, and of course my history with food in general. And so the chef comes out. It's not a really busy night. I think it was maybe a Wednesday night or something. So it wasn't like a busy Friday. And it was very sweet. He came out and he was chit-chatting a bit. He's like, "Oh, I want to prepare you something really special." And we were like, "Okay, fine." All right. So we knew he had the small little eels because he was frying them over one of the other fish dishes. I didn't think anything of it. So he brings out the waiter brings out this Gazpacho soup, heirloom tomato soup, big ass bowl, like huge bowl. And thank God it was. And in the bowl were these tiny little eels trying to swim up the bowl. And
so they were live.
They were live, honey. They were live. They were alive. It's Gazpacho soup, so served cold. They were live. And my partner and I just looked at each other and just shrugged and just ate it. And they were just sort of like al dente pasta.
Can you? Oh, yeah, that's how you tell Nana. Just let's do the thing going down your throat, the eel down your throat, the sensor. Do you chew it? Like, what do you?
Well, I did bite some of them because again, that's how I knew it was like this al dente kind of feel to it.
Did you hear it cry or something?
No, they're really small. They're about maybe 2 inches long, maybe.
Send it back.
But they're really thin. Like they're almost like a little spaghetti.
Yeah,
but they're alive.
Al dente.
And we just did it. I was just like, okay, we're adventurous that way. I'm like, okay. And if the funny thing is, if you would have put like bugs in front of me, I would be like, no, I can't do this. I can't do it. Like, no. But the funny thing is, if it's anything from the sea or around, I'm fine. Like, I've tried sea slugs. I've tried, like, I will be very adventurous. But when you start giving me insects, I'm like, no.
Your third food memory, this is a beautiful one. A dinner at Lake Como where the food was served family style.
Yes. I was there with my boyfriend. This is, I think maybe I was 20 years old at the time. And we went with his friend who was German. We were living in Miami at the time. So it was Miami and we were visiting 7 different countries at the time. So Italy was one of them, in Lake Como. And we went there, and it was very much a house just set up, and it was up on the hill, and we could see the lake. And of course it was getting dark, so you saw all the lights, flickering. And I remember sitting down, very family style. There was a lot of other people. Nobody had any places or anything like that. You just kind of sat where you were. And the food just kept coming out. And it was dish after dish, seafoods and then pastas. And it was all served family style. So you would, pick what you wanted. And everything was so delicious. And just the atmosphere, because you were looking over the lake. And it was just a really magical time. It was just beautiful. So I know that it was probably somebody's house at one time, because it wasn't designed like a restaurant. You knew it was somebody's home, or at least was somebody's home. And then
because
the
of
big patio. It was very small. You just knew this was a house. And it was just extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary.